Hello, everybody. It is me, Casey, and today we are doing Hatani, Ringo, and Ran, ex-listener, Yandere. Not my art like usual. Any background noise is from a little kitten. Yay! Let's get into this. Hatani, Ringo, and Ran's bikes were parked outside of your job as you had just walked out. They looked at you as you looked at them. You were surprised. You thought they were going to come in a car or something. But then you noticed what they were wearing. You then walked up to them before saying, "Wait, are you two in a gang?" They looked at you, surprised you knew that they were wearing their gang uniform. Before they said, "Yeah." Wait, what gang are you guys in? Ringdo looked at you, giving you a sly look before saying, "That is for us to know and you to find out." You wanted to know so badly now. These two boys who saved you were in a gang. They were just too kind. But really, they were only showing this side to you, and only you. When they get back on that field with their gang members, they'll turn into who they truly are. Devils. Evil boys. You were then told to get on the bike. Rindo driving. Ran was planning on doing some risky shit. So, Ringo was being the responsible one and taking you. When you guys got there, you guys were at a mall. They looked at you before saying, "We want to know what you like, so we thought taking you to the mall would be the best option." You look at the two before nodding your head. You haven't been to the mall in a while, so this will be a bit of a new experience. They look at you before saying, "And don't worry about the money. That's on us." Now, you were wondering, how rich were these boys? How much money did they make to just be throwing out money like that? Next thing you know, you guys were walking around the mall. Y'all, Y'all, if anybody has cats out there and y'all understand what I'm about to say, then please. Has your cat ever decided to try touching the screen with their little paw? Or like try to flick it with their ear? Because if so, then you understand my pain of my cat trying to touch the screen. Anyways, sorry for freaking out like that. 1 minute though. You looked like an excited girl running around the two boys. They were laughing a little. Ran, watching as you were looking at every single shop, while Ringo was trying to figure out which one you actually wanted to go to. When you finally stopped at this one shop, it had your favorite dessert. You walked inside, not even noticing that you were actually doing it. The boys following after you. When everybody saw you coming in with a Hatani Ran and Hatani Ringo, they froze. They were scared. You pointed at this one treat. Can I get this?" They both look at you, looking down at the treat that you wanted so desperately bad, before they both nodded their heads, as Ran pulled out his wallet. Ringo doing the exact same thing as they looked at one another before Rand putting back his wallet. Ringo letting him as he paid. Them getting the same little snack too. The same dessert. You were just munching on the dessert, still looking around. As the next thing you spotted was a plushie store. Now, Ringo and Rand were not about to be caught dead going in there. But for you, and to find out what you like, they would gladly do it. So they walked in with you. The same thing happened. People froze up. You were acting like a little excited schoolgirl, like I said before. So, you ran around grabbing things. You showed the boys, saying, "Look how cute this is!" Showing them a cute plushie. They just nodded their heads, not wanting to say that it actually looked kind of cute. Next thing you know, you grabbed something that just looked so ugly that it was kind of cute. You know what I'm talking about. As you showed the boys looked at it before saying, "You know what? Fine, we can get it." As you grabbed it, as you put it in the cart. The boys at this point were a little bit packed with toys in the cart. Dang, you were kind of acting like a little kid. They didn't know why, but they felt like you've never actually had a childhood. They just couldn't tell why. So, Rand being the one who was gonna be brave, Rindou looking at him with the death glare, he asked you, "You seem to be really into toys. Like, you kind of act like an adult that's never really had toys." Oh. Yeah. About that, you scratched the back of your neck. Technically, I've never had like an actual childhood. Their eyes widened. They were confused what you meant. I mean, yeah, I've had a childhood. It was just a bunch of fighting, though. My mom and dad were always fighting about something new. And then my siblings, they all passed away, which just kind of left me numb. But then, after me leaving the house, I kind of started to get back my emotions. And now I find getting toys as a way of comfort. They were surprised. And the way you said it so calmly, like it didn't even bother you. They clearly realized that your family was a bit fucked up. After all, the part about your mom and dad always fighting, that's what really hit them. They felt like they needed to be around you at all times. Be the person that gets you these toys. Be the person that gets you what you want. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to be the person that does all this stuff for you. They were silent as you put one more toy in there before running off. The brothers paid as they walked out with 2 bags full of toys. As they found you again in another store. This time, you've already paid for this. You hand them a necklace, both of them having their own. On it was a little bit of writing. As you pulled out your own necklace, showing him the pieces. "I like to think of you guys as my friend now, so I got us friendship friendship necklaces." You show them as you put all the pieces of it together. It was, this is weird. It kind of looked like an S. No, it was an R for both their names. You look at them before saying, since both of your names starts with an R, I decided to go with an R. And on it is writing, for new friends. They like the sound of that. The sound of new friends said it nicely. But also, they want it to be more than that, of course. They want it to be your lovers. But new friends would have to do for now. As they held it close to their chest, they said that they would always wear it. They would never dare to take it off. Stop biting people. I'm sorry. Next thing you know, you guys were walking out with all the toys and everything. They kind of felt guilty because you paid for the necklace. But they also felt happy that you gave them something that was supposed to mark the beginning of something new. And after a while, after they become your boyfriends, they'll change it to the beginning of their relationship. Next thing you know, the boys and you were on your way back to your home. This would be the first time they'll see your home. As you entered your home, you looked at the boys before saying, "It's a bit small." They looked around before saying, "I would say this is kind of average." Huh? You have three bedrooms. And you also have cats, a nice kitchen, and even they looked at it. Even a nice 1 minute. Even a nice what was the word? Living room. Yeah, but some of this money is from my grandparents. They mostly just bought me the house, and I pay for the rent as they pay for my bills. So your grandparents pay for most of this? Yeah. This is kind of as their way of, as their way of thanking me for sticking through all of that. You say, the brothers put down the toys onto the couch as they look around more. Clearly, they wanted you to live nicely. And this house was definitely nice. This home felt roomy. It also kind of felt empty. It just being you and your cats. That didn't feel right. So far, you guys only met one of your cats. So where's the other one? Well, that cat was on an adventure. That cat, we're gonna say, is a time traveler. Because, let's be honest, I want this to be a little mystery. This is like a side story for only the cat. And yeah, I'm gonna have to leave it off here. So if you want the next part for me to explain more about this cat, then I will gladly do it.